One of the most vital parts of North Korea's war machine is one that relies the most on so-called soldier power skills. North Korea has likely the largest special forces organization in the world, numbering 200,000 men and women trained in unconventional warfare. Pyongyang's commandos are trained to operate throughout the Korean peninsula, and possibly beyond, to present an asymmetric threat to its enemies. For decades, North Korea maintained an impressive all-arms force of everything from tanks to mechanized infantry, artillery, airborne forces and special forces. The country's conventional forces, facing a long slide after the end of the Cold War, have faced equipment obsolescence and supply shortages. For example, North Korea has very few tanks based on the 1970s Soviet T-72, and most are still derivatives of the 1960s era T-62. The rest of Pyongyang's armored corps are in a similar predicament, making them decidedly inferior to U.S. and South Korean forces. In response, North Korea has upped the importance of its special forces. The country maintains 25 special forces and special purpose brigades, and 5 special forces battalions, designed to undertake missions from frontline DMZ assault to parachute and assassination missions. The Light Infantry Training Guidance Bureau, part of the Korean People's Army, functions as a kind of analog to U.S. Special Operations Command, coordinating the special forces of the Army, Army Air Force and Korean People's Navy. This story was originally published by the National Interest of North Korea's 200,000 commandos. Approximately 150,000 belong to light infantry units. Foot mobile. The frontline mission is to infiltrate or flank enemy lines to envelop or mount rear attacks on enemy forces. North Korea's hilly terrain lends itself to such tactics, as does the network of tunnels that the country has dug that cross the DMZ in a number of places. 11 of North Korea's Special Forces brigades are light infantry brigades, and there are smaller light infantry units embedded within individual NK combat divisions. A further 3 brigades are special purpose airborne infantry. The 38th, 48th and 58th Airborne Brigades operate much like the 82nd Airborne Division, conducting strategic operations including airborne drops to seize critical terrain and infrastructure. NKPA airborne forces would likely target enemy airfields, South Korean government buildings, and key roads and highways to prevent the sabotage. Each brigade is organized into 6 airborne infantry battalions with a total strength of 3,500. Unlike the 82nd, however, NKPA airborne brigades are unlikely to operate at the battalion level or higher, and due to a lack of long-range transport cannot operate beyond the Korean peninsula. In addition, North Korea has an estimated 8 sniper brigades, 3 for the People's Army 17th, 60th and 61st Brigades, 3 for the Army Air Force 11th, 16th and 21st Brigades, and 2 for the People's Navy 29th, 291st. Each consists of approximately 3,500 men, organized into 7 to 10 sniper battalions. These units fulfill a broad variety of roles and are roughly analogous to U.S. Army Rangers, U.S. Special Forces and Navy SEALs. Unlike their American counterparts, it appears some of these units are capable of fighting as conventional airborne, air assault or naval infantry. Sniper brigades are trained in strategic reconnaissance and so-called direct action missions, including assassination missions, raids against high-level targets, military and economic targets, sabotage, disruption of South Korea's reserve system, covert delivery of weapons of mass disruption including possibly radiological weapons, and organizing anti-government guerrilla campaigns in South Korea. They will frequently be dressed in civilian South Korean military or U.S. military uniforms. One platoon of 30 to 40 troops per Army Sniper Brigade consists solely of women, trained to conduct combat operations dressed as civilians. Finally, the Reconnaissance Bureau maintains 4 separate reconnaissance battalions, highly trained and organized, These 500-man battalions are trained to lead an army corps through the hazardous DMZ. They likely have intimate and highly classified knowledge of both friendly and enemy defenses in the demilitarized zone. A 5th battalion is reportedly organized for out-of-country operations.